Good morning, everybody. It's Jillian. Oh my God. This whole week of of dealing with the COVID-19. And why am I so sure it's COVID? Because I'm immune to the flu. All right. I've had already the flu bug and I've been immune to the flu, but I have not, I'm now creating immunity to the COVID. But this is the newest virus on the block. Yes, my hair is kind of crazy. But last night, the pain got so intense last night that I had to get a washcloth with some peppermint oil and water and put it on my head, on my forehead, because it was that bad. Okay, so yeah, my hair is a little crazy because it's just all weirded out from that. But I don't care. Um, yeah, I don't know how anyone who doesn't, I guess, yeah, that's why they have painkillers. But what are you going to do? Every single time your body goes through an upgrade, you take a painkiller and then you cure your body, you preserve it in the state that it's in, and then it goes on a downward slide. And then you get another upgrade process where the body wants to heal. You take another cure and you cure it in the same place as it's degrading. So let's say you are like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 degree. This is death, right? So go ahead, lay down, Shiggy. So right here, so these are like degradation processes. Every single time you get a you degrade here, you take a cure, and then you downgrade to another level where you degrade and take another cure, and you basically stay in the place. You don't upgrade, take another degrade, you degrade again, and degrade again, you degrade again, and take a cure. That's kind of like what people are doing. So the fact that I, just did peppermint oil and water just to kind of give me a different, I guess, make me it's like put pressure on my head a little bit because I had the washcloth on my head. Then I was putting like the pillow with my arm across the pillow on my head just to deal with feeling that pulse. But I'm telling you, this COVID, that headache, cluster headache for since like Monday. Okay, that's insane. Right now, I can get a little twinge and it's okay. It's no big deal. And it doesn't even feel like a twinge. But I'm telling you, early, I think early this morning, I was feeling it. Then finally I got up at 6 and the thing was also too, my nose was running during that time. So every single time I get this pulsating feeling, my nose would run. Okay, my eyes would water, my nose would run. But my eyes didn't always water. My nose would run right after that big pulsating feeling. I'm like, wow, I wonder if it's like pushing out like the prostaglandin hormone that's healing. It's like pushing out the antibodies, and then it's coming out in my mucus. Because it was interesting how that would then come right, the mucus would come right after that pulsating feeling. And I was never stuffed up, okay? I was never congested or stuffed up. It was just the fact that my body was releasing as that pulsating feeling, that major stabbing headache. And I'm telling you, if I was a lesser of a person with predispositions, those would be basically strokes. A person would have to call the doctor and be like, I bet you if I did go to the doctor the last couple of days, I would have been diagnosed with a stroke of some sort. But I don't have any characteristics of a stroke victim, a real stroke victim who has predispositions, who hasn't given her body what it needs, because I've given my body what it needs. It was going to go through this process anyways, because that would have been my predispositions. Predispositions is a pre-existing condition that says that you haven't been fully upgraded to the new environment or to the old environment. So when you guys get triggered cancer, disease, and chronic illness, it's because your body hasn't been able to adapt to that current environment, but others have. So if somebody doesn't get cancer, disease, and chronic illness, or Raynaud's, or lupus, or any of those autoimmune disorders, if someone does not have those diagnoses, it means that they're able to adapt to that environment. But those that are aging, degrading with all these different diagnosable diseases have not been able to adapt to the environment. And so their body is adapting, but they're not up to par. They're actually on a downward slide. They're not really adapting per se, like adapting to the upgrade process. No, they are adapting to the downgrade process, to where there's nothing left in the next couple, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, maybe less relative to the environment. See, that's how I understand now this, because I was immune to the flu. And I'm like, how the hell am I? And I was sneezing like back in, I'm telling you, it was like January, February. It was actually January. No, it was February. It's like right after my birthday, the guys got major flu bug, and this is right after the Super Bowl. And then I remember, I think somewhere in that area, between the end of January, beginning of February, I was sneezing up a storm one day, and it was a violent sneeze. It was crazy violent sneezes. So I knew that I was exposed to something. It wasn't the flu, because I've been immune to the flu. If anything, any exposure to the flu, maybe I have to blow my nose the next day, and that would be it. There would be no major symptoms. But I know this is the COVID because my body is building up an immunity. My body is building up an immunity, and it isn't fun, but I'm telling you, I mean, last night was the peak of it. Last night was the peak of it, and it sucked. I'm telling you, it was just like the most miserable experience ever. So I don't know how people can deal with something like that on a chronic basis, but that's why I want to get well. That's why I want to get so well to where I fix the root cause of these types of upgrades, so that way I never have to experience an upgrade like this again. When your body's in chronic pain, these are for all the chronic pain sufferers, because your body is trying to adapt to an environment that you're not giving what it needs, and it's constantly trying to upgrade you. And you're giving your body what it needs, but you haven't fixed the issues to be able to absorb and maximize your nutritional intake. So you're actually releasing. It's like when you have a hole in your boat and you keep trying to bail water out of your boat, and the water keeps filling up, but you just keep bailing. That's kind of what it's like when you are when a chronic pain sufferer is that their body is basically a boat that's sinking, but it hasn't fully sunk yet because you keep bailing the water out. But eventually those holes are going to get bigger to where you're bailing the water out of the boat is not going to be as fast as water's coming in. And that's when people die from chronic pain. It's because eventually their body says, okay, we're still going to try to upgrade you, but you don't have enough of what we need to keep your vital organs going. And so that's why I'm not going to be one of those stroke victims that have the slurred speech, the hazy, thinking, this disorientation, the arm going to sleep, the paralysis on one side. No, I'm not going to be any one of those stroke victims, but my body's still going to try to upgrade. Okay. But those that exhibit the characteristics of an actual stroke victim, where they are paralyzed and they do have a slurred speech and hazy thinking and a dysmorphic face, it's because they couldn't handle the contortions, the muscle contractions, because that's what it felt like. It felt like my muscles were contracting the back of my head. It was a freaking trip. Let me tell you, don't ever let yourself get to hospice, because to try to do the J juice and you're in hospice and you have not only your head, but you have all the rest of your vital organs to go, oh, it's going to be freaking hell. Like, you would have to be looked after by a team of doctors to where, you could potentially get some relief, but then they still keep you alive because you're getting the J juice, and you got to go through some pain, but it's like, you will have someone there, with you throughout the process. That's what doctors need to be there for. That's what the nurses need to be there for those that are going through, endorphins. Yeah, but you don't want to be drugged. You don't want to drug yourself out on endorphins either. That's not a long-term thing either, Jason. But we need a team of doctors to help people get through these upgrade processes, to help people support them as they're going from point A to point Z. Okay? When people are addicted to endorphins, that's how they get addicted to drugs, and people too. That's how they get addicted to sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But no, I mean, the answer is not to disappear the pain without actually earning it. The answer is not to hide the pain or cover it up. The answer is to heal your body 100% in those areas to where you never have to deal with that again. Because anytime you take like endorphins, or anytime you do like running, or you do anything that is manipulating your hormones to get a specific outcome, it's only going to come back again, that specific situation. Okay. Or it moves to another part of your body. So maybe you've anesthetized or deadened one part of your body that you used endorphins or acupuncture or a painkiller on. And so then the body says, okay, well, you just deadened this part. So now we're going to move to another part of your body and let you know, hey, there's something wrong here, something wrong here. And then you go and anesthetize or deaden that part of the body until instead of being, 20% dead, now you've increased your odds of dying by being now 50% dead because you keep anesthetizing all parts of your body because you don't want to feel. That's not the point of the J juice. The point of J juice is to feel and heal. Okay? Feel, heal, and never have to revisit that situation ever again. Never to have to deal with your backache for your whole life until you die. That's not the point of J juice, is to just be in constant freaking torturous pain, every day of your life until you pass away. Oh, hell no. Believe me, I would not want to be dealing with what I dealt with the last couple of days for the next freaking 20 years. Oh, I would say, dude, I would sympathize. I would understand why people commit hara-kiri. Because that would be probably the most torturous life experience, is to be constantly in chronic pain. And that's why they have these pain clinics, because people are trying to upgrade and they're not giving their body what it needs. And so then they're trying to find the strongest drugs, trying to find so many different ways to cut off their nerves so they don't feel anything. And that's why you see the acceleration of people's death process, because they just keep cutting off their nose to spite their face until there's nothing left. Okay? I didn't know how long this bout was going to be, but I'm telling you, I feel a lot better. I blew my nose this morning. I took a poop this morning. And it was going on. The pressure when I was laying down on one side of my head and I'm putting my hand on top of my, my arm on my pillow to give pressure and all that stuff. I mean, even my dog, she understood my discomfort, and she was also, but she was okay. Every single time I'm going through some kind of upgrade, she's going through the upgrades too. Okay, she's going through the upgrades as well. And she comes out of them pretty quick. Like, she bounces back very quickly. She doesn't have any sign of like if she went through an upgrade. And so yeah, all of your animals, okay, the animals didn't give this to you, just so you know. You've given this to your animals if your animals experience any kind of seizures, cancer, disease, chronic illness, whatever. Okay? Because your animals are not immune to the environment. You heard about the tigers. 6 tigers have tested positive because their trainers gave it to them. 2 house cats were testing positive for the COVID because the owners gave it to their cats. All right? So animals are not going to escape this environment, and they have to upgrade as well. And that's why you see a lot of people with animals dying. I'm seeing all over my Facebook, oh, my animal died, or my animal got into a seizure, my animal got diagnosed with cancer, my animal got... Yeah, it's the COVID, dudes. So yeah, I could say that I finally got on the other side of this damn COVID brain upgrade, and holy crap, it's nothing I would ever bestow, even on my worst enemy. Nothing. People say, oh, it's the 5G. No, it's not the 5 freaking G. Because if it was the 5G, all of us would be experiencing pulsating pains and be dead. You would see a lot more stroke victims than what you see now if it was a 5 freaking G. So anyone that says it's 5G that's doing this, I totally take them off my Facebook. Now, my husband can say it because he doesn't say it on my Facebook, but he says it to me. I'm like, no, honey. I love you, Jason. But no, it's not the 5G. It's not the chemtrails. It's not any of the conspiracy bullshit. It's people, bodies have to find a way to upgrade to the new virus in the environment. And if you have what it takes, great. If you don't, you'll know it. Okay? But I'll tell you what, a lesser of a person will not be able to handle what I went through this last couple of days. If it wasn't for the J juice, because I'll tell you, if it wasn't for the J juice, if I wasn't doing J juice and this COVID came around, let's say the Jilly juice was never ever invented, and I'm still dealing with my PMS and my PMDD and all of my predispositions, I would have already been at the hospital, going like, oh my God, and who knows what they would have given me. I would have already been at the ER the last couple of days if I didn't have the J juice, if I didn't know what really truly was going on. See, that's the power of J juice, is that you understand what's going on and you don't unnecessarily put yourself in a situation where they're going to apply you with antibiotics, with painkillers, because that will then stop the healing process. That will stop the upgrade process. And then you would go on a downward slide. And some people don't survive the cures that are out there. That's why you don't want the cure worse than the actual problem. But right now, with everybody's bodies the way they are, the cures are probably the worst thing. Okay? So I can say I'm probably got over that. I got over that. And I'm like, holy crap, I got over that. I'm amazed because that was not fun. I mean, if you watched, and I just uploaded all of the videos since Monday, because I was not uploading any videos to YouTube, but I uploaded all the videos from the last 3 days. So you can see my journey. What are we at? The 24th, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Yeah, like 420 or something like that. Okay. 420 was when this journey began. 420, go figure. 420. So 420, 421, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 422, 423. Maybe it's 421 to 425, 424. But anyways, ever since, yeah, but I slept, there was some precursors to this experience. There were some precursors. So you guys, get the sleep that you need. Like, seriously, get the sleep that you need. Do not sleep. You guys need to sleep. Sleep is so underrated, and people take sleep for granted, and they just get sleep here and there and whatever. I'm telling you, when your body says you need to sleep, you need to freaking sleep. Okay? Because that is restorative. Every single time I felt better is because I slept for like 5 hours in the middle of the day. I slept in. And I don't like sleeping in, but I'm not about to sacrifice myself to please other people. Let me tell you, because when I know I need to get well, I have to sleep. I have to go to bed early. I have to sleep. I have to be left alone, because I'll tell you, your body needs to get well. You have to rest. So those of you that are all Mr. and Mrs. Productivity, you're not going to be productive when you're dead. So you might as well catch up on your sleep and repair yourself, so that way you have a lot more longer life to go and have fun with. What's the point in trying to fit, a lifetime's worth of fun in like 3 years versus 100 or 200 years? And you think of how much more fun you would have in 200 years versus 3 or 4 years or 5 years. Oh, but I don't want to live forever. It's not living forever. I mean, who knows what, you might get hit by a freaking meteorite. We might have a meteor shower in the next 100 years, and you might get hit by a freaking meteor. So you won't be living forever, because then you probably, you wouldn't be that. Maybe why you got hit by meteors, because it was a freak accident. You couldn't prepare for that. There'd be no precursor. There'd be no preemptive thing you'd have to do to prepare for a meteor strike, unless someone said, hey, there's a meteor strike, and you said, okay, I'm going to do whatever I can do. But I doubt it. If we're evolving neurologically, and there are indicators that, hey, there's a meteor shower coming in the next 5 days, I would think you would take precautions to figure out where you're not going to be in the next 5 days, so that way you wouldn't die from a meteor. Okay, so that'd be a bad example. But I'm sure, there'd be examples of why someone would die, that would be out of their control. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, that's why I sound crazy to people, because they're like, I've never heard of living forever or living indefinitely, because you've never even thought of proactively taking care of your body to where you wouldn't have to worry about, to where you could think about potentially, living indefinitely. When you're always reacting to all of your situations, yeah, sometimes your reactions are going to become a little bit too late. That's why we don't play the reaction game with the J juice. That's why it's proactive. Okay, if you're always reacting to every situation, at some point your responses to to the reactions are going to be too late, and it's going to be like, dude, you had indicators. Someone told you if you didn't take care of your body in this way, you're going to have this stroke, and now you're like half paralyzed. What are you going to do now? Oh, I don't know. I'll just sit here and be a vegetable. And then that's when people start dying, literally, when they can't do half the shit that you were able to do before, and they're not dead. They're half dead, but the system has not let them die. So now you're stuck half paralyzed with somebody wiping your ass. Is that the kind of life you want to lead? But some people say, oh, then I'll find a way to off myself. No, you're not. I'll freaking pour the J juice down your throat. So, you know, I'm just really happy I'm on the other side of this damn neurological upgrade. It was a doozy. It is probably the worst pain I will never forget this pain. This is to remind me never let my body go to shit. Never, ever let my body go to shit. Not that I would do it, but I mean, I'm sure there's going to be upgrades in the future because we have 7 billion people on this planet that are going to mutate this virus. And so I'm hoping that at some point I will become immune to the coronavirus. Just like I was immune to the flu, where I had no symptoms of the flu, I'm thinking that down the road, even though this coronavirus does mutate, I will be immune to it, where I won't feel any of the upgrades. Because my body has already been upgraded and adapted to the coronavirus, regardless of how many strains there are. Because there's 1 million strains of the flu, and I've been exposed to most of them. So, anyways, I'm going to go now. But I'm going to say that I feel better. I feel amazing. And holy crap, watch my last video so you can kind of see where I came from. Because this was a doozy of a freaking upgrade. And I would not wish it upon my worst enemy if they didn't have the J juice. If my worst enemy had the J juice, then yes, do it. Go through this upgrade because it's worth it. You'll come out on top. You just got to get through it. Make sure you have a support system around you so that way they're not making you do stuff, because I'm telling you, when you have something like your muscles contracting is such a tight point, oh, it's horrible. But not anymore. Okay, bye.